Today I'm gonna be showing you guys the top 5 class setups and loadouts that you guys should be using after the mid-season update in season 5 of Warzone. A lot of very interesting guns got nerfed, buffed, and even like literally some guns you would have never even thought would have been touched. And I'm gonna just go ahead and cover them today. So let's get right into it with the first weapon. So for our first weapon, we got the ISO SMG from Modern Warfare. Yes, this is not clickbait. This gun actually did get a buff. So let's get right into the class setup. First attachment for the ISO, which is the barrel, we have the FSS Nightshade. This gives us damage range, recoil control, bullet velocity, and it's an integral suppressor. So we already have a suppressor on it and we don't have to use a slot for that. Our next attachment for the ISO, we have the ISO collapsible stock. This gives us that movement speed and ADS speed, especially with SMGs, but you always want to have some type of mobility on these weapons. So therefore we got the ISO collapsible stock. So for the magazine on the ISO, we got the 50 round drum, you know, standard, just an extended mag. Especially to use in Warzone, I mean, you literally have to use extended mags most of the time. Our next attachment we got for the ISO will be the F-Tac Elite ISO grip. This gives us ADS speed and sprint to fire speed. Like I said, man, especially with SMG, you want to maximize as much mobility that you could get on these weapons. So therefore we got the F-Tac Elite ISO grip. And for our last attachment with the ISO, we got sleight of hand. Now, you could maybe use another attachment, but I really do prefer you to use sleight of hand for that faster reload. Some of the Modern Warfare weapons, the reload are kind of slow. So without that, you know what I'm saying, we got to put on that sleight of hand so we can reload fast and get back into those gunfights. So this is the ISO class setup. Show you on the screen here. You can take a screenshot or whatever, and let's get right into the next class setup. So next we got the AMAX AR from Modern Warfare. As y'all know, man, this gun is amazing. It used to be the fan favorite. It's my favorite, one of them at least. So without further ado, let's get right into the class setup. So for our muzzle, we got the monolithic suppressor. This gives us that sound suppression and that damage range. I mean, that's any suppressor really gives us that, especially for the Modern Warfare category. You should be using monolithic. Our next attachment for the AMAX, we are using the XRK Zodiac S440 barrel. We got damage range, bullet velocity, recoil control. Literally, it's just a standard for almost any single Modern Warfare AR that you run. You want to just have that damage range, bullet velocity, and you want the recoil control to stay on target. Got the VLK 3x optic for the AMAX, the best optic in the game. I literally don't even have to explain this. Literally, this is the best optic for all Modern Warfare weapons, unless certain weapons, I mean, you can use the core combat hollow, but other than that, VLK 3x, that's it. Next, we got the Commando foregrip. This gives us recoil stabilization and the aim and stability. You gotta have that recoil stabilization and the recoil control. You want to be stable on aiming at your targets, so therefore we are using the Commando foregrip. And for our last attachment for the AMAX, we got the 45 round mag, just your normal extended mag. While playing Warzone, I mean, you need as many shots as possible. This is the class setup for the AMAX. Hey, and I hope you guys enjoyed this class setup. So let's get right into the next one. Another crazy weapon that has been buffed is the QBZ in Warzone from Black Ops Cold War. It's a very nice AR. I honestly really like this weapon. It really feels good to use, and I'm gonna just go ahead and show you guys the class setup. So for our muzzle on the QBZ, we got the ADC suppressor, which gives us sound suppression, vertical recoil control, bullet velocity, and an effective damage range. Like I said, man, you always want to have those vertical recoils and the velocities and the damage range on any weapon you use, especially from a muzzle that grants this. Perfect. And for our barrel with the QBZ, same thing. We got the Task Force barrel, gives us bullet velocity, horizontal recoil control, effective damage range, and vertical. So really, you're really maximizing as much recoil control coming out of these attachments that you can. Next, we have the Actual Orange 3x. This is the best scope for all Cold War weapons. Literally the best scope, unless you're using it as a SMG, which you use either iron sight or the microflex LED, but I do prefer using this as a long range gun, and you can use that 3x optic. Next, we got the Field Agent grip, which grants us horizontal recoil control, vertical recoil control. Like I said, man, you want to maximize that recoil control on AR, especially if you're using them for long range, just so you can always stay on target with your enemies. Last but not least, we got the Salvo 60 round fast mag. Now you can really change this and put on, if you need 60 rounds, you can put on a 60 round drum to save some of that ADS speed time, or you can put on the 45 round drum to save that as well. Even the 45 round speed mag if you really just want that speed mag. So I do recommend using either one of these mags. Either one will be good for you. It just depends on your playstyle and the game mode that you're playing. So this is the class setup for the QBZ. Hey, let's get right into the next weapon. Another crazy weapon that received a buff is the Bully Frog, man. Hey, y'all know this gun been up and down, but I guess it's finally getting its flowers again back in the last season of Warzone. So look, I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all guys the class setup. So for the muzzle with the bullfrog, we got the group suppressor, which gives us sound suppression, vertical recoil control, bullet velocity, and effective damage range. Hey man, like I said, you want to get that sound suppression, you want that recoil control, bullet velocity, all that. Especially like a gun like this, kind of weak, but with the buff is going to make this gun even crazier. For our barrel, we got the 7.4-inch task force barrel, gives us effective damage range, bullet velocity, and straight speed. Straight speed is very important, especially with an SMG that's going to be running up on people and trying to maneuver and weave back and forth. Hey, straight speed, you need it. For our next attachment, which is the laser, we're using a Tiger Team Spotlight. If you don't know, man, having that mobility is always good. So the aim walking movement speed and the regular movement speed just really, it maximizes a lot. So you had that mobility, like I said, maneuvering through those enemies and getting those kills. Our next attachment, which is a stock, we got the KGB Skeletal stock. It gives us ADS fire and movement speed, aim walking movement speed, and sprint to fire time. All mobility attachments, telling you, man, you always want to have that mobility factor into these weapons, especially SMGs, when you're maneuvering and you got to kill these enemies, man. Last but not least, we got the Bruiser Grip. If you don't know, this grants movement speed and hip fire accuracy. Like I said, mobility is key with SMGs. Gotta have it, man. So this is the class setup for the Bullfrog. Hey, let's go ahead and get into our last weapons. So for our last weapon, we got the CX9. Hey, y'all know this is a very good SMG and it was recently received a buff. So let's go get right into the class setup. So for our barrel with the CX9, we got the CX38S. This grants us damage range, recoil control, bullet velocity, and sound suppression. Like I said, they got an integral suppressor, so we don't have to use a slot for our suppressor, and we still get all those good positives in this weapon. For our laser with the CX9, we got the TAC laser, which grants us ADS speed, aim stability, and aim walking steadiness, man. This gun is kind of a little crazy in terms of like the mobility factor, like so ADS speeds and the straight speeds or the aim walking steadiness. So you running the TAC laser will help eliminate some of that craziness in this weapon. For our stock, we got the CXFR, which grants us movement speed, ADS speed. This is basically the no stock attachment for this weapon. It's just, I don't know, it looks weird or whatever it's called, but yeah, we got the CXFR, movement speed, ADS speed. Like I said, mobility is key, especially with a weapon like this. So let's go get into the next attachment. The next attachment we got is the magazine, 50 round drum. I don't even have to explain. It's literally just an extended mag. The 30 round mag, or the base, I think it's 20, runs out extremely fast. If you use that, you're putting yourself up for failure. I'm sorry. Put on a 50 round drum. And last but not least, we got sleight of hand for the CX9, bro. This thing reloads slow. Running sleight of hand will really help with that ADS speed. Not ADS speed, I'm sorry. The reload speed. So run the sleight of hand so you can reload faster. And this is the class setup for the CX9. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to this video. Comment down what weapon that you've seen in the past that received a good buff that you like. Hey, and it's been your boy BigCartiier, and I'm out. Hey.